It's July of the year 2000. Scary Movie drops in theaters and completely shatters the parody genre. For over 2 decades, the internet consensus on its mind-bending final twist has been completely unanimous. Officer Doofy faked a mental disability the entire time, pulled off the Ghostface murders right under everyone's noses, and rode off into the sunset as a criminal mastermind. It's a great twist, it's hilarious, it perfectly mocks the usual suspects. But what if I told you we've been reading the entire movie upside down for 26 years? What if Doofy wasn't actually the killer, but a highly trained, elite federal operative working the deepest undercover assignment of his career? Today, we are breaking down the ultimate scary movie theory. Doofy wasn't the monster. He was profiling as an expert sent by a federal behavioral unit to intercept a completely different, highly deranged threat running rampant through this small town. Ray Wilkins. To understand why Doofy is embedded in this high school social circle, we have to look past the Ghostface mask and analyze the actual criminal profile of Ray. The movie treats Ray's behavior as a running gag about him being deeply in the closet, but from a modern behavioral analysis standpoint, it paints a terrifying picture. Ray is a highly volatile, intensely repressed individual with an extreme boundary issue problem and documented history of severe sexual misconduct. We know from the franchise lore that Ray's behavior escalates drastically as time goes on. In the sequel, he straight up assault attacks a supernatural entity under a bed. But even right here, in the very first film, theorists and internet culture have rightfully pointed out his pattern of predatory behavior, or what modern slang would call graping, specifically targeting other men. Any federal agency with a behavioral sciences division would flag Ray instantly in the world of profiling. His actions are a classic pre-delinquent escalation marker. A trained profiler looking at Ray's psychological state could easily predict that it was only a matter of time before his severe identity crisis on the internal manifested as a violent, outward crime spree. Officer Doofy didn't just randomly show up because a bunch of teenagers hit a guy with a car on Halloween. Doofy was already there. He was stationed in that town, monitoring a ticking time bomb named Ray Wilkins. So how do you monitor a volatile, high school-aged threat without spooking them or alerting them clearly to an incompetent police force? You adopt the most unthreatening, easily dismissed, and entirely invisible persona imaginable. Enter Special Officer Doofy. By pretending to have severe cognitive delays and an unhealthy obsession with vacuum cleaners, Doofy gains total, unrestricted access to the town. He's allowed to wander active crime scenes, ask highly invasive questions under the guise of just wanting to help, and stick incredibly close to the core social circle without a single person ever batting an eye or viewing him as a threat. Think about the sheer discipline this requires. Every single absurd thing Doofy does, it isn't just lowbrow humor. It is a masterclass in deep cover tradecraft. He's making himself a joke so that he is never treated as a suspect, allowing him to observe Ray's psychological decay from inches away. This all culminates in the chaotic final kitchen sequence. Bobby and Ray reveal themselves as copycat killers, putting on a show for Cindy. But look closely at what happens the exact moment they decide to stab each other to look like innocent victims. Ray completely snaps. He abandons the script and stabs Bobby repeatedly with genuine, malicious unhinged intent. Ray's violence escalation has finally reached its peak. And who steps out of the shadows to neutralize the threat? The real Ghostface, Officer Doofy. If Doofy is indeed a deep cover agent, his operational objective is simple: gather enough hard evidence to permanently put Ray away, or neutralize him when he inevitably becomes an active, lethal threat. By infiltrating the copycat circle or utilizing a third party, Doofy ensures that Bobby and Ray destroy themselves. In the aftermath, Ray somehow survives a hook to the spine. He escapes real criminal prosecution and enforced into psychiatric counseling before college. Doofy didn't fail to kill him. He neutralized him, preserved him for state custody, and successfully closed the file on the county threat. When Doofy sheds his disguise in the final scene, ripping off the fake mustache and discarding his vacuum, the movie wants you to think he's a villain escaping justice. But just look at his face when he gets in the car. That isn't the manic, cackling smirk of a serial killer. That is the relaxed, exhausted face of a seasoned law enforcement officer who just spent months playing a fool to catch a monster. He hops into a clean getaway car driven by Gale Hailstorm, a prominent news reporter who is very likely his federal handler, or at least a direct ticket to publicizing his department's success. Officer Doofy didn't terrorize that town. He saved it from the real threat lurking: Ray. Now, that was supposed to be the end of the video. That short, sweet, tidy conclusion. But recently I went to the movie theater with my girlfriend, and this is where we enter heavy spoiler territory for the new 2026 Scary Movie. If you haven't seen it yet, consider this your official warning. Ray comes back, and he kills again. That's right, Ray returns in a brand new film and starts a whole new killing spree, operating with the assistance of several other killers. And this massive development completely changes how we look at the original film. It means the entire profiling theory about Doofy holds immense weight. Doofy actually returns in the new film as well. He dons his old alias once again, sacrificing his dignity to go back undercover and attempt to finally take down Ray for good. But the tragedy of this new film is it's heavily implied Doofy dies during this mission because his brilliant cover was fatally blown during the events of the first film. He ripped off his disguise in the middle of town and led to Ray being apprehended and supposedly rehabilitated. But just as Doofy originally predicted in his initial profile, Ray was never cured. He was always going to kill again. Doofy knew the monster was still out there, and he paid the ultimate price trying to finish the job. And that, dear viewer, is the truth of Scary Movie.